Hi guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. You are in for a treat. If you guys have not joined us at 6:30 a.m. yet, well, you're gonna get a little peek of what takes place in there. Some of the ladies
gonna take a shirt off.
So it got started. So tonight we are hosting a call on the husband perspective on, how is it that they decided to join us on this journey? How is it that we got their buy-in to not only health and fitness, but also the business? And so we are going to hear from three amazing guys. Unfortunately, Kevin cannot be here. He is oh my God, que Yesenia, me mata Vicky. Vicky's husband, and Vicky is an ER nurse for those that don't know, and she works like crazy shifts, and right now she's at work, and so obviously Kevin has to take care of the kids, but he did record a special video for us just so that you guys can hear his side, and then we will turn it over to Rudy and Jorge. So let me share my screen, and let me see. You guys can see it, right? Cool. So here is Kevin's video.
Hey everybody, my name is Kevin Gillis. My wife is Victoria Valencia. She's also my Beachbody coach. I came here to discuss my Beachbody journey, and I wanted to give you a little background. Ever since I was young, I've always enjoyed playing sports, exercising. I've always enjoyed being active. For many, many years, I exercised, starting in my late teens, all the way through my college years and all the way to now. What I noticed was that I was able to put on muscle, but I didn't really have the definition that I was looking for. Also, I wasn't following any nutrition plan, which made it really difficult to get the results that I wanted. So flash forward many years, my wife Vicky and I, we've been together for 10 years. She decided that she was going to start her own Beachbody journey a little while before I did. And during her journey, I started to see some incredible results. And I finally sent her, I said, wow, I've been working out for years and I have not gotten these kind of results. How do I do it? So she very easily brought me onto the Beachbody team. She started me out with a nutrition plan, and she started me with an exercise program. And, pretty shortly after I started, I started to see results, and I started to get, the body that I wanted to have. And it wasn't overnight, but it was something that I was working for, and I enjoyed working for it. But the important part was that there was that nutrition program, which was the thing that was lacking for me. And I tried several different programs. I did Shift Shop, I did T20, 6 weeks of the work, and my all-time favorite is Lift 4. I've done so many different rounds of that, but I can't get away from it. I love that it's exercise with weights and it's cardio. And Joe Freeman's a cool guy. I enjoy his corny humor, but it's good. It's good. But anyway, the best thing that I've noticed that came from all this was that our young kids, we have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, they watch Vicky and I as we exercise together, and they join in with us, and they also see how we eat, and so they emulate us. They do the same thing. They exercise with us. They eat healthy, and that's probably one of the most important things for me out of this journey that I've taken so far. But I love the nutrition. I love the exercises. I enjoy working out with my wife together. And I have to say, I'm more fit now, I'm almost 40, than I was at age 20. So that's something that I'm really proud of.
Hi, everybody. I'm here.
That I chose to have a fit dad bod instead of a normal dad bod. All right, guys, take care.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you two of his transformation pictures so that you can see. Why is it that I can't escape from here? Okay, there we go. So that you can see, where he started and where he is today. So this is Kevin. This is, because he mentions that he was working out. He's always been into working out. And this is after he started doing the Beachbody programs. And following the nutrition, which we always talk about, is so important to obtaining results. And this is Kevin again. All right. All right, I'm gonna stop the share. And now we're gonna hand it over to Rudy. Rudy, go ahead and tell us, before Rudy starts, I gotta just, I just gotta share a little story. So when Wendy reached out that she wanted to become a coach on our team, Jorge and I met them for dinner around our neighborhood. And Rudy, no joke, he came with like a list of questions to ask us. I was like, I thought we were having like drinks and dinner, dude. Like, what in the world? But honestly, like, he had great questions. You know, he really wanted to make sure that, you know, he understood what he was getting himself into. But also, right off the bat, their bromance began. I mean, immediately they hit it off. And, you know, I knew that it was like, you know, match made in heaven. So, Rudy, talk to us.
What is this, a different
What's up, everybody? So I know everybody on here, but again, Rudy, Wendy's husband. First met Gabby and Jorge a while back, and when we started this journey, I'll tell you, like, similar to Kevin, I have something similar. I'm sure like all of us do, but I was always active when I was younger, wrestling in high school, played sports, all different types, went to the military, came out. I was always in pretty decent shape. I never had a good diet though. My diet was the one thing that was totally wrong. It was off. I would eat microwave anything. So that's how my food was. Hot Pockets, Tostitos, pizza rolls, Geno's. Pizza is my thing. I'm part Italian, part Puerto Rican. So that my diet itself wasn't the best. And then later on, you know, in life, life happens. We had kids, Manolo, G. And I think, you know, at that point you start slowing down. You're with your partner and you might get too comfortable. Wendy, after she had the kids, started working out, and I saw her first working out. And I'd be there on the couch watching her working out, just staring at her like, you know, and being that I was always working out prior to that and in shape, I was like, you know, your form is off, babe. Those push-ups, you got to go lower. I was like, you know, you're not doing the right form. And she'd be upset with me. She's like, well, why don't you come down here and join me? And that's the first thing I want to teach you as a lesson, guys. Criticism does not help. But it's funny, but motivation works in different ways. It's small steps. So anyway, you know, little things like that started giving me, you know, making me think, yeah, no, I work out. And then, you know, my daughter, I know one day that I was sitting on the couch, I was saying something to Wendy, and she comes over and she's like, you know, Daddy, why don't you work out? Do you work out? And I really thought to myself, you know, yeah, no, I'm walking upstairs at work and I do this and I do that. The things that everybody tells you, yeah, I eat pretty good, you know, but I was lying to myself, to be honest with you. And inside, I actually felt like I wanted to work out, but sometimes the motivation is not always there. You know, I didn't feel good about myself at that point. In life, I was gaining weight. I was heavier. I wanted to look good for my wife the same way that she wanted to look good for me. You know, because that's how you do in a relationship. You want to help each other out. So, you know, for me, I wasn't feeling good. We were going to the parks, playing with the kids, doing different things like that. And I couldn't keep up with my kids. I was, you know, right there around the 200-pound mark. And I just was getting tired real quick, running up the slide with them, things that I would do, no problem. So, you know, mentally, I wasn't happy. You know, I found myself, we would go to the beach and I noticed myself standing, you know, behind the kids during a picture or trying to hide myself. And yeah, I was never in denial about it, but I just, you know, in my head, I was talking to myself saying, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And it was the little things that Wendy did to help me out, you know. Before I even, you know, I'm fast forwarding a little bit and I'm going to tell you about those little things that she did help me with. But another thing, unfortunately, that happens to people is that you have to wait until it's a health scare for you to start your journey. And for me, I had it. You know, I was at the house and I'd be coughing at night in the bed. I'm like, you know, coughing. And I'm like, what's going on? And you know, let me go to the doctor to see what's going on because I'm coughing. Even the neighbors were like, yeah, we heard you coughing a lot. You're all right. And this is before Corona. If I was coughing now during Corona, me botan de aquí. They'd kick me out of this place. But I went to the doctor, fast forward, and he was like, listen, yeah, you have acid reflux. You got to lose weight. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to be on medication. He's like, but also you have your triglycerides high. So I'm going to give you this medicine for acid reflux. I'm going to give you this medicine for your triglycerides. I'm going to give you this other medicine to help you keep your stomach settled because these other two medicines might be too strong together. So I'm like, damn, 3 medicines and I'm only in my 30s, my early 30s. I was like, I can't be on medicine. And then I started Googling stuff, you know, like Gabby said, you know, with the list that, you know, I search everything, I research everything. And these medicines that they were trying to give me, they're low dose medicines that you take for life. They're not something that they want you to take and you're cured. They want you to keep taking it to make money off you. And that's why we have to live this healthy lifestyle that we're working on right now all together, because we don't want to be stuck in a cycle like that. So I made the conscious choice right there with Wendy. We went home and we were talking about it and she was like, babe, you're too young to be on medication. You know, it's time to join me and, you know, we'll do this together little by little. And that's really the thing, guys. It's all about steps that you take to make yourself better. You know, like I didn't want to feel that same way. So she started doing things like, you know, we would cook at home. And these are little things that you know, instead of going out to eat, because I'm a big, let's go out, City Island, let's go out wherever and spend some money and eat. I don't care. But then you eat all that food, you don't know where it's from. It's poor choices. At home, we can control what we put on our food, how we season it. And, you know, she knows what I like. She knows the food that I like. So she would start helping me cook food. And plus, I you know, she would, something that I thought of is that I didn't really say this before on any other calls, is that I went to the military to cook, to be a chef, a food service specialist. I went to culinary school and everything. And I love cooking. And I come home, but I only cook when she asked me to. So she started asking me, hey, babe, can you cook this for me? Oh, what about your special ribs, babe? Or what about this? And so she actually motivated me to start working on myself by doing things that I liked. And then she was like, you know, we would start cooking. And she's like, oh, babe, let's try this. I saw this other recipe. And so those little changes, I started getting happy, more positive, motivated, and I started feeling a little bit better about myself. And just eating a couple of slight changes made me lose a few pounds, and losing a few pounds gave me a little bit more confidence. And that little bit more confidence started trickling over into other areas of my life. And so I said, you know, I like this. I'm starting to get results and I want to do it more. So I started doing a workout program with her. And I said, you know, I'm going to commit to this program fully. And so I started doing it. Les Mills Pump. They no longer have it really, but it was a great program and super intense. 3 months. And so we did it. Fast forward, from 200 pounds, I lost 35 pounds, went down to 165. I was in great shape. Thank you, Abigail. And
But I want to add one thing. So he ate bad, but in addition to that, he did not eat not one vegetable. Not one vegetable.
I had ketchup.
So, exactly. And so what helped, I think, transition him to making healthier choices is when I introduced him to doing the program, I said, you're going to follow the nutrition, you're going to drink the Shakeology, and you're going to commit to this. So I believe in my heart that I know that the Shakeology helped him to be able to, you know, start to lose the weight, but also it gave him those vitamins and nutrients that he wasn't getting from the vegetables. And, you know, fast forward, like he said, 3 months later, he loses a massive amount of weight. And, you know, once you start feeding your body those nutrients that your body craves, you want more. And I remember him asking me like, hey, you know, what is that? Like, I had asparagus. And I'm like, it's asparagus. You want to try it? And he was like, all right. He tried it. He liked it. From asparagus, I'm telling you.
You'll like it. That's like that old show.
I can't think.
DJ Lance Rock.
Right. It went from, and I kid you not, people don't believe me. It went from zero vegetables to now he eats broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. I mean, things that I cannot even tell you that he would look at and be like, heck no, I'm not having that. So, you know, that in addition to losing the weight, the idea was that he was now, you know, feeding and fueling his body with the nutrients that he needed to be able to maintain the weight loss. Okay, go back. Sorry.
It's not your call. Let me just cut Wendy out. I'm cutting her out. Did anybody? No. So, you know, yeah. Basically, I lost weight, felt better about myself. With, you know, one of the bullets I was trying to tell you before was with her encouragement. So that's one thing. Her encouragement helped me. She encouraged me. She pushed me, but she didn't overwhelm me. Sometimes I would get ticked off when I saw her working out and it was constantly, and I'm like, yo, get off the TV. I'm trying to watch a show or something like that. And, you know, it annoyed me and different things like that. And, you know, even Jorge, when Wendy's on her phone all the time, from him, I got patience because I see him with Gabby on her phone all the time. And Jorge's just like, whatever, hey, you know, whatever, going with the flow. So I take patience from him. So you have patience with each other, patience with, you know, because if you don't, that you'll start getting into problems and arguments. I feel like she pushed me to do other things. The cooking, she things that I like to do is how she ended up motivating. She's like, babe, you're gonna go paintballing this week? And go paintballing, yeah, go with the guys. And I love paintballing for those of you who know me. So I would go with my friends paintballing. And again, with paintball, you have to be in shape because if you're running around on the fields with a mask on, hot, breathing heavy, it's not easy, and you get tired really quick. I mean, you could walk around the field and get shot up, but so that was another motivator for me doing sports. And I said, you know, the better shape I get in, I'm gonna start running and running. And so we started running more, and you know, all these little things that I like to do, she kept motivating me to do those, and I think that really helped me to attach more to the physical fitness because. I had found this little article, and it said something, while never easy, changing a spouse or anyone's attitude towards a healthier lifestyle is definitely possible. With the right type of motivation and encouragement, one thing that really helps is compassionate understanding and taking small but consistent steps. So the whole time she took small, consistent steps, but I gotta take a moment right here and just say hello to Rodolfo, who's right now connecting with us from Mexico. I don't know if this connection is bad or not.
We lost him.
Oh, we lost him, guys. All right. Wi-Fi in Mexico is in and out right now, I guess. So, but we'll get him. Listen, that's important when we see him jump on because he has a great story too. But
I see him. Lo veo.
Rodolfo, show your picture. Dale al video. He's a little new with Zoom, the thing. Okay.
Patience.
Paciencia.
Paciencia.
so understanding and taking small consistent steps helped me out because I think Wendy and me would be if she would have pushed me more, I would have pushed way more. She pushed just the right amount to make me feel comfortable going in. While we were doing it, she supported me. You know, in the morning, sometimes that extra snooze that you want to take, and she's like, "Hey, come on, babe, come on." And so I would get up and work out with her. And now I just wake up, roll out, get up. We do our thing. Everything is ready. So those things right there help me, and I hope that the tips that I gave you will help you because I really truly am happy right now. My triglycerides, I didn't tell you, they were at 1,500. Which is heart attack level. I didn't even throw it into the story that I got declined for life insurance from 2 different companies
During that time.
And all these things were wake up calls, and I got them under control. I went back to my doctor a couple of months later, and he was like, "Oh, the medication's working, huh? Everything's good." And I said, honestly, that week that you gave me that medication, I took it the first day, and I threw it out the next day, all of it, and I worked out. Ate clean. Everybody in the household started eating together, which sometimes it's hard to do to get everybody on the same page. Cooking double meals. I know some of you are sure about that you're cooking one for this person, that. You know what? Cook that double meal to start off with, but season it a little bit differently. do some different things, try different things, and ask them to open up and try different things for you, you know. And I wanted to do it for my wife, who I love very much, and this is where we are right now. You know, we're happy. You know, and most of all, yeah, most of all, working out to me was time together, because I've been through different jobs, different career paths, managing multiple employees, big, you know, working. I would leave my house before my kids and my wife were up, and I would come home after they were asleep. It wasn't easy. So working out was our time together. You know, it was, even though we weren't talking too much, you know, we would joke around and stuff. It was just together time. And for me, that was what's most important. So, you know, getting a little emotional here. I'm going to cry. But without further ado, I'm going to cut it off and let you know one last thing. I am Wendy's coach.
Bye.
Wendy's coach is, and Jorge is my coach. I'm a superstar diamond. Jorge is a mega diamond, and Gabby's under him. So Jorge's my upline coach, just so you guys know. So I'm going to introduce you to, he's well known. He's a 48-month legend in Beachbody. SC20 every month.
So you muted?
I'm done. No.
All right, keep, hold on. You introduce me. Let me get out of the camera, and then when you introduce me, I'm gonna walk in.
All right, guys. The reigning champion of the Beachbody Classic de Medellín, Colombia, super narcotraficante, Jorge J. Paisa on Instagram.
Ay, Dios mío.
Hey, everybody! Wow, I didn't know everybody was here. I like that. I like that, Rudy. You know the narco. That's private, bro. That's private. That's private. Don't put my business out here.
My bad.
Rodolfo.
Llegó.
Oye, Rodolfo se va. Rodolfo de México. Hola, vamos a ver si quiere hablar a Rodolfo primero. Vamos a ver. Rodolfo, ¿quiere hablar? Oh, he froze.
He's froze.
Saludos.
Saludos, Rodolfo. ¿Se nos escucha, Rodolfo?
No le escuchamos. Unmute, unmute.
Let me see. I'm asking to unmute, pero no.
No.
Rodolfo is also a workout partner for Yesenia.
Oh,
Yeah.
ajá. Todos los días a las 5 de la mañana.
Sí, él está en México ahora mismo. Él se levantaba conmigo a hacer los ejercicios.
You know, he's muted. I asked for it to be maybe después de Jorge. Okay, no. I asked for him to get on mute. Okay.
He's got muted.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'll jump in.
Oh, he's on mute.
Oh, he's muted.
ahí, ahí. ¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está, Gaby?
Bien, bien. ¿Nos ve?
Claro, claro que sí.
Cuéntanos un poquito cómo empezaste con Yesenia a sufrir a las 5 de la mañana.
Bueno, eso es un poco difícil, porque nosotros dormimos muy poco. Porque el commute es bastante largo.
Ujú.
Pero sí nos daba tiempo de hacer ejercicio en la mañana. Bastante tiempo.
Por el esfuerzo que hacían al levantarse tempranito, ¿no?
Yeah, claro. Pero sí nos sentíamos bien. Físicamente y mentalmente estábamos bien.
Yeah. Yesenia y Rodolfo, ¿cuánto les toma el commute de allá arriba para acá, abajo? ¿Hora y media?
Bah, más o menos. Es que también depende del tráfico, más que nada. Eso. Con el tráfico puede que sea 1 hora y media o posiblemente más. Pero por lo regular.
Este es otro ejemplo de que cuando uno quiere, sí se puede, ¿verdad?
Claro, todo se puede. No hay imposible en esta vida.
So, Rodolfo, todo el mundo quiere saber, ¿qué te motivó para hacer ejercicios con Yesenia? ¿Qué te motivó para levantarte?
Mi esposa.
Ella, ¿y cómo lo hizo? ¿Le dio un pecozado o qué?
Un pecozón.
Le dio un pecozón en la cabeza. Sí. No, fíjate que es muy diferente cuando tú vas al gimnasio y en realidad lo que uno va a hacer al gimnasio a veces es como perder el tiempo, porque te distraes solamente te enfocas como, I don't know, tal vez en un solo, que es solamente hacer fuerza, ¿me entiendes? No es como tu cuerpo ser elástico y flexible a tener un físico impresionante.
So, para todo el mundo aquí en la llamada, ¿qué consejo le puede dar a todas las mujeres aquí para que ellos empiezan o que incluir los esposos de ellos, novios o pareja?
Pues más que nada, yo te podría decir que no es, al menos en mi persona, lo que yo me he fijado es más que nada el ejercicio influye mucho en la alimentación de uno. ¿Me entiendes?
Yep, yo igual. So, dos personas ya. Salud.
Claro.
You have to be healthy, guys. You have to live a healthy life. Sometimes it takes a health scare, you know?
Ya, porque no, yo creo que si tú te dedicas a puro hacer ejercicio y comer de todo, pues te fijas en tu físico solamente, pero en tu salud no. ¿Me entiendes? Y eso es una de las, yo creo que la principal, es la primer base en tu físico, la alimentación tuya, no el ejercicio.
Pues gracias, su merced. Gracias.
Otra
Gracias
Gusto en
por
verlos.
igualmente, gracias por conectarse desde México.
Pues, a veces la señal es un poco mala, pero
Pero
trato.
lo logró. Como dijo, nada es imposible.
Claro, claro.
Yeah. Yo ahora. Ajá.
Perdón.
Oh, no, nada. Guys, I want to show you Rudy's transformation. Que antes que empiece a hablar Jorge, I want to show you guys my screen with Rudy's transformation. I wanted to show you what he was talking about. You know, I was too focused on his story. So this is Rudy. You don't like showing him before, right? You want to talk about this, Rudy?
Nah, that's not me.
Who's that?
That's Rodolfo.
Who's
That's
your
not me.
brother?
As he said.
That was a Planet Kill brawler right there on the left.
Who's your clone?
I was gaining weight because, you know, I was getting ready for the pandemic.
This is Rudy right
And
here.
this is Rudy's right there.
El pasado.
Holy. Yeah.
An awesome transformation. Awesome transformation.
Rodolfo was right next to me with that beer. He passed it to me. Culpa de él.
It's amazing. You see what eating healthy and showing up and exercise can do, and obviously the accountability, right? And it started with his wife, and here he is. Amazing. All right, babe.
All right.
All right.
All right, so I'll jump in. So mine, everybody knows me, I think, Jorge, Gabby's husband.
Second half.
Second half, the brains behind the operation. No, just kidding. No, so, you know, our journey started, I mean, you've heard it many times, but the journey started 6 years ago for us. I've always been active. You know, I like to play soccer. I cycle. I would jog a lot. I like to go running. And Gab, honestly, would sit on the couch and say, you know, I want some alone time, and just spend it on the couch. And that's kind of what our activity was until Beachbody came into our life, where, you know, Gabby really wanted to, you know her whole story, wanted to jump in. And I said, yeah, shit, I could do some exercise. I'll try that stuff out. I'll start doing some squats and doing all the things that we do normally. You know, it was a good experience to not be able to sit on the toilet for the first workout that I got into because the hams were hurting. They were really sore, but it all turned out, you know, with over time, we got into a really nice groove. So I'm just going to kind of take you through the chapters of my journey with Beachbody and what led me to me being where we are today. And it started with the health journey, not really understanding, because I too was one that I went running for 3 miles, and then I would literally, go to a buffet and drink a 12-pack of beer. Did I say buffet? I meant barbecue. I meant to say barbecue.
He meant buffet.
Drink a 12-pack of beer and eat everything. Arepas, chuletas, whatever you call it, and just eat everything. And just say, I'm working out, I'm running, I'm doing my cardio, and I'm eating, and I'm eating whatever, so I'm good. And until I really saw myself, I thought that I was looking good, that for me personally, not that I was doing it for anybody, but, I'm not that tall. I'm about 5'5", so when the pounds start packing on, I literally look like a meatball. In Spanish, I would say una albóndiga con patas, quite frankly. And so, and then I started looking at some photos, and I'm not even lying. I was looking at a picture, and I can't remember, it was just a picture. Someone had taken a picture, and my back was towards the picture. And I saw some dude with like literally 2 turkeys coming out of the back of his back, lower back. And I'm like, who is that? And it was me. And I'm like, I literally said to Gab, I said, wow. I said, you have bad taste in men. I said, because quite frankly, I said, you fell in love with that guy? I said, because holy crap, excuse me, but I'm just being, being serious, truthful, that I wasn't looking good, at all. And so I knew I needed to make a change. And then the reality came where the health scare was that my cholesterol, we have high cholesterol in my family, and my cholesterol was really high. And about 34, 35, I got put on statin drugs to lower the cholesterol. And I said, no, I'm gonna try to do it naturally, my way. And the doctor would be like, okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of months. And I would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So then once, like I said, Beachbody came into our life, I was getting bad reactions to the statins, and I didn't like it. And then we started working out and really doing, keeping track of the meals. I love to cook. I'm the cooker in the house. But when it comes to the meal planning, Gab has always been there planning the foods. I travel a lot with my job and setting up the food. This is back 6 years ago. And I bought a bag that I can put my food in, and I was really staying committed because I go out a lot with clients to drink, eat, and it was just getting out of control. So I needed to reel that in quickly because I knew that where I was headed wasn't good. So our first program was T25, and with T25, I shedded about 16 pounds, and I'm like, whoa. And I didn't even think about it. We did it. And so I started understanding how to control my health, not just winging it. I really got to understanding how my body reacts to certain things along the way. And so I knew how and why each program was working, or when I was on a certain calorie contact, or, whatever the containers, I knew what it was doing, and I quickly saw results. And every time I deviated away from it, because it hasn't been perfect for 6 years, I would stay on a program. And then after that program, I would jump back and go back to my normal ways, days started drinking again and catching up, and then do another program and then half-ass the program without the diet and say, you know what, I'm going to stick to the diet this time, and then see the results. So I just, it was frustrating for me because I knew what I needed to do. I just needed to stay consecutive with it. So I got on, but the working out has been straight for 6 years, but the various results has altered. Like I see pictures, I'm like, I was on this program and I was doing this, and I like how I look in that photo. And then this one, what the hell happened here, right? I was working out, but it was the holidays. I was just letting myself go. And that seesaw for me, roller coaster of food, eating back and forth, and just, I needed to just reel it in. So what the initial part of this journey taught me how to commit to what I was setting out to do. And with that came patience and understanding that, the pounds didn't come on right away for me. They came on over time. And that way was the same way that it was going to happen for me to lose some weight. Because really for me, I just gained it in my stomach. And I've always just had a belly that when I'm not on my diet, I'm like 8 months pregnant. And when I'm not on when I am on my diet, I just had the baby, and the baby's 4 months old now. So it's just like, so I just knew my cycles and what I needed to do. And the nutrition for me is critical. I can't deviate from it because I quickly will get back to where I was no matter how hard I'm working out. So I just knew that I couldn't outpace the bad nutrition. So that was the first thing for me, was the health journey, which evolved into a mindset game for me. The mindset.
Can I, before you go into the mindset, I just want to add in terms of the mindset, because as coaches and even as challengers, we encourage you guys to work on your mindset, because if this isn't strong, then everything else won't come, right? Because, you know, the mind starts to play tricks on you, and you're definitely, you know, you start to doubt yourself, you start to criticize yourself, you start to be hard on yourself. And one of the things, you know, when I became a coach, that is encouraged is that we work on our mindset, right? Because like Jorge was saying, this journey, and even Rudy, is not perfect, right? It's not a perfect journey, so it's going to go like this, right? And you have to be prepared for that, because we aren't perfect beings. And one of the things that I wanted Jorge to do with me was do personal development, but I also wanted to go to a live event. And when I told him I want to go to this, you know, event with Danny Johnson, it's called First Steps to Success, he was like, what? He's like, what is that? So I was like, well, here's a video, so that, you know, like a sizzle video, so that you can see what's it about. And we played it, and he was like, no. He's like, we don't need help like that. Like, that's for crazy people. No, we don't need to go to that. And I was like, seriously, dude? And in that, like, we literally went 6 months after I presented the first video to him. It took 6 months of me slowly working on him. And like Wendy said, you know, or Rudy said about Wendy, she pushed, but she pushed right, you know, the right amount. She didn't push too much, because if you push too much, they, you know, they step back and they get turned off, and they don't want anything to do with it. And so he, like he said, he drives a lot, right, with work. And he was going a lot to a lot of meetings, and he was on the road a lot. And I was like, babe, you know, they recommended this book to me. Sounds cool. We listened to Audible. And I'm like, why don't you listen to it? He's like, you know, what's it called? And I'm like, it's The Energy Buzz. And he's like, bet. He literally read that book in like 2 days, like 2 days. And from that moment, so really introducing him to personal development in, you know, in bits and pieces, like, hey, like kind of tricking him into it. And then the rest is kind of history. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we started this journey, I was 40 years old. We had Matias at 40.
I was 35 too.
Yeah, I'm 46. and as I started getting the results, literally was in way better shape than I was in my 20s and in my 30s. And I literally felt like I was rolling the clock back. And, you know, I like I said, I've never been a gym rat, but when I work out, you know, or I like to do it alone, meaning it's just like a therapy for me. So, you know, it really took a lot for me to work out with Gab, because, you know, Gab is, you know, on social media, and she's doing the videos, and she's pausing for this, and then we had to redo that. And, you know, I'll be honest, you know, I couldn't deal with that. I'm like, I need to get in and get out. And it took me a while. And the reason that I evolved into being able to handle it and saying, okay, because I think, who said that I was patient? Rudy said I was patient. I am the most impatient person. I'm super impatient. You know, I'm jittery. I don't have patience. So hence why I speak fast and all that. But really what it turned into is that when we started documenting what we were doing, and then I became the laughter, you know, out of my peers in work. I'm in sales, and guys like, oh, Gabby got you doing squats again. You're doing the butt master, all the jokes, right? All the jokes that happened the first year, you know, all the jokes that happened sort of like the 1.5 years to 2 years. And I don't take myself serious, so I laughed with them. I was like, yeah, it's all good, but touch my ass. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. It evolved into a lot of my people from work really started now saying, hey, you know, you're looking good, or I like this workout, and I'm interested, right? And never even being invited. And then we realized that as we progressed through this, more and more people started jumping on, right? More and more people started hitting up Gab and saying, hey, you know, it looks like fun what you guys are doing. I want to do something different. And it was just natural for us. So I started doing it, more so obviously, because I do it, you know, I sometimes enjoy working out with Gab. I'll be honest.
Sometimes.
I don't enjoy working with her all the time. I'm honest, but you know, it was doing a lot for a lot of people out there that we need to know, and we didn't know the influence that we were having on a lot of people, as everybody in the group is having on other people right now.
Mhm.
You may not feel that you're having influence on people, but there's people watching you, right? There's people that are looking forward to seeing what you're doing that day. And it's sort of like, you don't know this, but it's sort of like a disappointment when you don't show up.
Mhm.
It's like sort of having a store. So I started doing it more for that. And we started seeing, you know, that, you know, just the results from not only me, that I was getting an exercise, she was getting, you know, she was looking good and getting healthy. And then we just, like I said, the personal development just really at 40 years old is where, for me personally, I truly believe is where I started getting my education in life. Throughout, you know, I feel like I just winged it in my 20s and 30s. And in my 40s, I guess when Matias was born, I started reading, and something that I never did. You know, I literally almost failed out of college twice. I was you know, thank God, I pray to this day that Matias has Gabby's brains, because when it comes to schoolwork, it wasn't for me. I winged it through college, and I literally had to beg my counselor to allow me to graduate, because I graduated with a 2. I was at a 1.9 and literally graduated with a 2.0. I think it was a 2.0 GPA, and it just wasn't my thing. You know, school books, it's not my thing. You know, street smart and, you know, business in other sense is totally up my alley, but I just never been a student. So that's where I started getting a lot of education and going to these live events that we've invested so much in doing. We were now spending times where we usually would go on vacation to go to an event. And for us, it was just filling up my cup, where I was meeting so many other people that become my mentors right now, which has led me from, you know, mentorship through, and I know I'm going a little out there, but I'm going to reel it in, but, you know, mentorship from a philosophy standpoint, from a investment standpoint, you know, learning finances. It's just really has been the total package for me, which is why I hold Beachbody in so high regards, because if it wasn't for this opportunity, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I wouldn't have learned not only physically working out, but what I do on a normal day. Like I said, I get mentored by people on a monthly and weekly basis outside of everything else that I do, just so that I can learn and that I can pass that on to Matias, because quite frankly, this is just my belief. I'm not here to offend anybody, but in today's school system, you're not going to learn. They don't teach you what a lot of us don't know. We don't know. I grew up poor, as a lot of us did, and without any financial education whatsoever, and health education. You know, I grew up eating pork chops and rice with a fried egg and an arepa 3 to 4 times a week. And that's what I grew up on. Double starches, you know, things that you think are natural. And until I met somebody who wasn't Latino and they invited me to dinner, I'm like, salad? I'm like, in the portion, I'm like, I want my pasta and I want my rice and I want an arepa, you know, and that's really what it comes down to. So I started learning a lot of all that in my 40s, late. So I want to be able to turn back the clock and undo the damage that I did my whole life, and really trying to instill that in the rest of my family members. So, and then also the community, you know, when you work, I'm speaking for myself. Once again, I have luckily for me and thankfully, my job has been really good to us. I have a really good job, but I'm not inspired at my job, right? I'm around people that I have to be around, not that I choose to be around, right? So that for me is significant, because in this community and the people we've met, we've had the choice to be around, right? I don't have to be around Rudy, you know, I don't have to be around, you know, Yesenia, you know, Rosa, you know, and they don't have to be with us, right? And so when we choose that, and that choice is really significant, because you're not forced to do it. You're not doing it for a paycheck. You're not doing it because somebody's viewing you. And that, to me, is the most genuine part of a community, right? Because you're wanting to do it and it's inspirational. So that's another point there. And then I'll leave it with this. You know, I always talk about the business, because I didn't know what this was going to evolve into. And when Gabby invited me, she says, "Oh, I won this trip." She's calling me one day. I'm at work. I'm with one of my clients at lunch, and Gab's off the hook, and she knew I was on a lunch meeting. And she literally called me 4 times. And my doctor, the doctor that I was with, said, that's your wife, you should pick it up. And didn't even strike me it could be an emergency at all. I just, for whatever reason, shame on me, but I picked the phone up and she's like, we got in. And I'm like, to in what? She's like, into this trip, we're going to Mexico. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go. So I'm like, great, thanks for telling me, we'll talk about it later. And then I saw the community there. And then we went to this trip and that just really changed it. It changed it because it was really people that were inspiring, you know, and I've been in corporate for so many years and it's miserable. I mean, it really is. It's just miserable. So what we were able to grow from this business has just been that, without, you know, being total, you know, genuine, you know, wanting to help other people as much as we can. Those people trickling into helping other people has turned into what has been our life today. And I'll just ask you, you know, for us, at first it was paying our Shakeology. We're both drinking it. So we were going through it quickly and then it started paying for that. We're like, oh, great, we don't have that expense that we don't need. And it evolved into that. It involved more where Gab doesn't need to go back to work, thankfully. So I'm not saying that that's what this has to be for anybody. But the simple question that I'm always going to ask is, could you use an extra $500 a month? You know, and you don't need to answer that question. What I'm saying is that's what it turned into us for with. And with that, it kept on growing and growing and growing. We're like, why in the hell would we ever change anything that we're doing? We're being genuine. We're being ourselves. We're being truthful. We care in the people that we're dealing with. And it's working all aspects. Continue going. Continue expanding our mindset. Continue growing. And that's why I'm here continuously, because of everybody that I've met in this community, everybody that helps me and has been mentoring me and grow, you know, spiritually, that's been growing, you know, my professional, my entrepreneurship, that has been very helpful for me as well, and understanding how to run a business and just, you know, invest on the side and do whatever. It's just so much that I don't want to bore you guys with that it has done for me that I would be nuts to not be part of this. So if I don't show up one day to work out, I might just be annoyed at Gabby that day. So and I'm going to take it out on you guys. And say, where's Jorge? And he's like, no, she doesn't feel well. No, I'm pissed off at her. No, I'm kidding. Or I got diarrhea or something. But other than that, that's why as a husband, you know, and the husbands, if you know, and then also Gab showed the seriousness in this. This wasn't a fad, right? A fad would have been, you know, if we would have done doing this or finished doing this 5 years ago. But the reason that people have stopped making the jokes and the reason that people that 6 years ago said, yeah, Gab, not my cup of tea, that are joining our group today, if we would have stopped doing this 5 years ago, we would have never known that they would be part of this group. There's women, in the 6:30 a.m. group right now. And shout out to the 6:30ers. I see Jasenia with her 5 a.m. That's nuts. But there's women there that I count on the boxes, and there's 3 of them that said no, not interested 6 years ago, and they're here now. Because why? Because we've built that credibility of being over and over and showing up over and over. And I can speak for the Rosas, you know, that, you know, their consistency as well has gotten, you know, people to respect that, what they do, and see them as that pillar, as that somebody that I need your assistance to get in. So that's why where husbands don't believe in the wives a lot of times, and I'm speaking from friends that I have, is because I hear husbands saying, yeah, this is her flavor of the month. This is her flavor of the month. And if you treat it as the flavor of the month, quite frankly, you're not going to get the respect. I don't want to say respect, but you're not going to get the buy-in. I didn't mean to say respect. You need the buy-in from it. And when I saw Gab showing up day after day, somebody who doesn't work out, showing up day after day, and then these groups and then talking, I'm like, you have my full support. You know, because you're serious about it. And the time that you spent into this has grown tremendously. So that's why, as a husband, I continue to be here, and I will always be here for that matter, because it's just a lot more than just a workout at 6:30 a.m. crew. There's so much more to it. So hopefully I didn't bore you guys with that, but that's where I was coming from, and that's where I come from continuously, and that's what it has done for me, and that's what it continues to do for us. And I enjoy seeing the people who have joined us, you know, time after time, because I'm always going to say it, you know, you're either going to pay for it now or you're going to pay for it later. And it's better while you have the choice to pay for it now, as opposed to being forced to take, measures to improve your health. We want to be healthy. That's the best wealth. If nothing else happened here, if I never met any of you guys, but I got healthy, that for me is worth the price of admission. But then meeting everybody else here and being in this uplifting group, it just makes it that much better. So that's my point.
All right. Hang on, I want to put this again. All right. So I think that what you guys just heard, I know there's questions and comments that I want to go through, but I think that what you got from all the guys today is that if you, because a lot of the women wanted to know, how do you get the buy-in, right? How do you get the buy-in from your husband? How do they work? Like, I want them to work out. I want them to join me. Or if you are a coach, I want them to support my business when I'm doing my, my business activity. Like, how do I do that? And they all said it. And it boils down to, how are you treating it, right? How are you treating this? Are you treating this, whether it's just the health and fitness or the business or both? Are you treating it, disrespectfully? Are you disrespecting, what you're doing in both areas? Are you showing up daily? Are you consistent, right? Are you showing them that you're serious about this, right? It really boils down to how you're treating it. And I think that, like Wendy and myself and Yesenia and Vicky, right? We're showing up. Whether you join us or not, we're showing up. And I think that's what, attracted them to join us, because they saw, like Jorge said, it's not a fad. This is our lifestyle, and we're going to show up whether you join us or not. We want them to show up, right? We want them to join us because we want them to be healthy, right? And also, if you're a coach, you want them to obviously join in so that they can also be a part of the business and help support the business and obviously take advantage of all the benefits of the business. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to you showing results, you showing up. And I think that's what was, his buy-in, Rudy's buy-in, and Rodolfo, as well as Kevin, is the fact that they saw that we were showing up, and we were showing up with results as well. And so that's really what it boils down to, in all of their stories.
Can I answer Elizabeth's?
Yeah.
Elizabeth, so your husband really wants to do this, but his job is time consuming. I get that. For me personally, like I said, we all have different jobs. At the beginning of the year, my year started as a gangbuster. It's funny how prayer works. I prayed, because I was traveling from Boston to down to to Texas, because I manage the whole Northeast region of 8 reps, and from Boston to DC, and traveling in planes and trains, and then flying out to Texas. And I committed to myself, for me personally, to do one of the hardest workouts that I've ever thought that I've ever done, which is 6 minutes. What's it? 6 weeks of the 6 weeks of the work. And I did it with traveling. And I could tell you right now, my biggest hurdle for me was, if I'm home, I'm gonna have a regimen. But once I'm out of the zip code of New York City, for some reason, that was a license for me to drink, eat, and just not work out. I never went to a hotel gym. I never went anywhere. Like, we would go on vacation, and we're doing it up, right? And that took me a while. That didn't happen right away, right? So I know that's not, I'm gonna answer your question. And I got people, coworkers, that were like, I'm going to the gym. And I'm like, I'm like, really? You're gonna go to the gym? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed because I'm gonna go to the gym. Because usually at nighttime we drink, and I'm not saying your husband's a drinker. I would drink, because that's what we do in sales. And they started noticing that I wasn't drinking, because I have to wake up early. And I had guys, that were West Coast time from California, that literally slept 2 hours because we were in a different time zone, and say, if you go into the gym, I'm gonna go with you. I'm like, all right, I'll be there. And I would take videos, and Gab, I would send them to Gab. The guys would show up, and it's like, are you shit? I thought you were kidding. You're here, you're free. I'm like, no, we're here. They would be part of the video that day that I would submit to Gab. And that was a commitment that I made. And it was just, and it's this. It's just really flipping that switch in your mindset to say, I'm going to do it because that's what it is. It's not a physical, it's not anything but this thing in your head playing tricks on you. When I want to eat right, I flip the switch and I say, I'm going to give it all. You know, I mean, I haven't said this, I've said it many times, but I ate like we did mes de mas and I ate whatever. I ate whatever. We did the work with Hardlet, what was it? The Sean T, and I ate whatever. And I said, you know what? Gab's like, let's do this. I got to make a switch. And I'm like, all right, let's make the switch. In 21 days, I said, we're going to join Autumn and we're going to do this group that we're doing right now. And I absolutely got the COVID-15. I was drinking. Don't make fun of the hair. I was in denial there. I was in denial. I was losing my hair. And as you could tell, I was struggling with it. All right. I'm open with it now. I'm good with it. But the reality is I'm doing 21 days right now with you guys, no alcohol, and I'm eating right. You know, because I would look at myself in the video and I'm like, nah, I got to stop playing. Because for me, I just didn't feel comfortable. And I'm working out every day. Every day. I just wasn't eating right. And for me, the belly's there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop messing around. So 21 days, I need to reset. I didn't do the cleanse, although I recommend you guys do it, but you want to do it. But my cleanse is I'm just eating right. I'm sticking to my containers. We planned it out. I'm just doing a reset. I'm not saying I'm stopping to do alcohol, but 21 days, no drinking, because I've been drinking like crazy during COVID. I don't have no shame to say that, but I'm like, I'm gonna take it serious. And it was just this, switching it. And once I just say, okay, let's do it, I do it. So whatever it takes for you to do that, Elizabeth's husband, you know, you gotta have a strong why as to why you want to do it. And for me, there's just so many people that I know, the fact that I have high cholesterol and people that I know, I'm gonna be, dying of a heart attack randomly at 47, 48, 49. I go to the cardiologist, I get checked. I like to do activity. The last thing I want to do is have a heart attack because I'm doing strenuous activity. That scares me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not messing around with this. I don't want to get diabetes. And so I made the switch. I just switched right now and I'm clean right now. And literally I just laugh because it's just such a mind game. When I eat bad, it's because I just haven't flipped the switch. I'm like, whatever. I just pick here, pick there, have a cookie here, have a there. And then now I'm just like, I'm going clean 21 days and I'm going to do this. And then whatever, we'll see what happens after 21 days. But I needed to do that for myself. So that's how I get my things done. It's just a mindset that I'm going to commit right now and do it. And if you really want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it. And that's why this works so well, because it's 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes. And I also said to myself, shit, if I can't commit, this is me personally talking to myself, 24 hours in a day, and I can't commit 30 minutes for me to do a nice high tense workout that's going to give me the cardio that I need, regardless of the weights and all that, but the cardiovascular exercise, I'm like, then I deserve whatever I get if I can't commit that. And that's how I talk to myself. And that's what's kept me committed. Because we get it over, and all the women at 6:30, they get it done, and they're like, thank God, I'm done. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's done. So.
Yep. So I'm going to read the questions that they have. I'm going to start at the top. Rudy, how did you become the meal prep king that you are?
Well, I'll give you the quick version. Pretty much, it's teamwork. Wendy figures out the meal plan, what the weight is, what containers we need, whatever it is we need. Once she tells me that, I pretty much take over, because when Wendy makes snacks, they're all right. They're all right. But Wendy's like a goat. She'll eat spinach without dressing on it.
It's true.
I don't play that game. I make a food that tastes good, delicious.
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
I do.
like I try and make the snacks good, so that they they're, you know, so she likes them. So I'll make my proteins. I'll change it up. One day I'll make some tofu. One day I'll make some shrimp. One day some bacon. One day, like, switch it up to things. There's unlimited combinations that you could, you know. I started getting tired of eating eggs, so I put one egg with 2 pieces of bacon instead of 2 eggs, or instead of 4 pieces of bacon. I know all my counts in my head. I know everything that I have to break down. So once I knew that and got it underway, after a few weeks, it was pretty much straightforward. Once you know what you have to do in the containers, 12 almonds, whatever it is, you know. So, and that was it, Rosa. So anybody could be a super chef if you don't eat like a goat.
I love it. Rosa has a question for you, Jorge. When and how did you get so comfortable sharing and in front of the camera to share?
I mean, for me, like, you know, my job, like I said, I'm in sales, so I do presents. I don't have problems talking, public speaking, as you probably tell, because that's what I do. That's my job. But it took me a while because at first, like, I'm not gonna lie, it stung a little bit. Coworkers, oh, you know, every morning, oh, Gabby got you doing squats, or you can't do this, or you can't eat that, and it was funny because the consistency is just the joke stopped, right? And it's not like, you know, for me, it's not like people who don't try to be healthy try to make you feel bad for trying to be healthy, right? And when did like, I mean, I respect everybody, and I'm not trying to, you know, convince people who don't work out to work out. We're not preaching it like that. If you want to make the change for you, you join us. But for people who are not ready to make that change in their food and to work out, okay, who am I to try to convince you to do that, right? I'm nobody. But the reality is, we're all going to be forced with that decision at one point, right? So I'm fine with it, you know, because people are, oh, you know, can you eat this? What happens if Gab sees you eating that? And I laugh because it's so not like that, right? It's never been like that. I you know, eat what I want to eat. I eat my pizza. I do this. I do that. I'm not a goat eater like Wendy and just eat salad, and hay. But the reality is that, what was it? What was comfortable. I don't take myself serious, as you can tell. I give you know, I'll be blunt. I'll give a rat's ass what you think about me. I don't take myself serious. So I think that's a quality that I have, where I don't portray that I'm Mr. Oh, no, not. You want to make a joke about me? I laugh with you. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way I am. So that's why I think for me, it's been natural at that, right?
One of the things, I'm like cut in, I get messages from many of you guys, and, you know, laughing, because I post like all the craziness that happens when we like work out, and like, you know, I can post that, cannot post it, but this is like my life, and that's who Jorge is. What you see in the camera is like what I get at home. And people be like, yo, you stay messing with him. You said, and at first I would be like, hey babe, can I post this? And he's like, I don't care. You know, like, he doesn't, because this is who you get. This is who he is. And so, you know, people are like, oh my God, my husband would like die, or would, you know, he don't care. And I think that's why, you know, he's just the way he is. So the Rosas said, it's not always about having the time. It's about making the time for what's important to you. And then Abigail has a question, and one of you guys can take it, is, my hubby has had to back off from working out due to working nights. How can I help him stay with it? Any of you
Rudy,
guys?
you want to jump in? I can.
Yes, coach.
My dad said.
What's up, Matias? So Abigail, I would say pretty much what I said right there was, you know, it's about making time. And so if it's important to him to stay working out, even though you switch to the 4 a.m., those first few days are going to be a struggle. But trust me when I say that, I've changed around my schedule several times. And when you change it around, catch up on your rest, and then get yourself up that one day. It's like staying late. It's like your kids staying up late all summer. And then that first week trying to get back to school, they don't want to go to sleep early. It's the same way when you change your shift of hours. You're going to have to just struggle that first week, and then it'll fall into place, and he's going to get better rest. But make no mistake, even though he switched it up, he's going to have to keep his nutrition on point for right now, and that's a job that you're going to have to help him with. So that would be my recommendation.
Nutrition is really good. He does PT at work, but he was doing the 4 weeks of the prep, but we stopped at 3 weeks due to him having to train younger seamen. So he does PT, but I don't feel like that's, because push-ups and running, 6 miles that's all he really does. So I want him to continue to get his daily exercise in because I see the difference in his attitude. I see the difference in how he has energy, and he's older, so he's in his 40s. So he needs to keep.
Hold on. Whoa, whoa. Those are fighting
I'm outta here.
fighting words, girl.
Older, like he has conditions. He has high blood pressure. He has things like that. So I want to keep it, under control.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And you get to a point. I mean, my for me, going back to the health, my stepfather, who I'm 46 years old, he passed away at 46 years old. And when I turned 46, I'm like, wait, when I was younger, 46 seems like you're old, right? And I'm like, shit, he passed away at 46 years old. That's me right now, right? And I'm sure we all can relate to someone like that you have friends or whatever. And, this life is short for me. I mean, my why and what I convince myself is that this life is so short. I don't want to spend, if I have the choice to not spend it in a hospital bed because of a health related issue that I self-inflicted on myself, then, I'm going to try my darndest not to be in that position. Right. But I would ask, I would say to you to ask Vicky that question because, she works nights, ER nurse. I couldn't even imagine that schedule that she has, and she busts out a workout before she goes to work. And that energy, that's something that, what drives her to do it, right? And to work all night.
Hey, Jorge, not to cut you off, but Yesenia, waking up at 5 a.m. in the
5
morning.
a.m.
I know her schedule because she drives home with Wendy, and they, they'll go to work. She does her job. She works other days, extra hours, here, there, everywhere, and still makes time to get her workout in. So I would ask Yesenia.
Yesenia, yeah. What drives you, Yesenia?
Yesenia, ¿está despierta?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not answering that.
She was like, I'm in Mexico con Rudolfo. Her Wi-Fi is cut out.
Did you hear?
Yesenia.
You heard the question? Sexting.
So Abigail wants to know, how do you make it happen? Because her husband just switched up his hours, and now he has to work nights, 4 a.m. He works all different hours. How do you make it happen, working the crazy hours that you do, and still drive in to work, come back from the country, you're driving out to the city, back and forth daily, and still working out at 5 a.m.?
It was an opportunity for us to bond because I used to go to the gym and we were just like splitting apart as opposed to being together. It was also an opportunity for us to connect with each other, to be with each other.
But more so besides Rodolfo, how do you still get up right now while you're working so many hours and changing your schedule around so much with right now with the pandemic?
What motivates you?
What motivates me? Working out makes me feel good, makes me feel accomplished. Doing hard things make me feel empowered, that I could do hard shit, because what I'm doing, I mean, I'm driving right now an hour and 15 minutes to the city, and with all this pandemic, and it's been scary, but if I could, if I could do these hard workouts, because I have done the one with the what's this guy's name, oh my god, the work, and I don't be thinking that I could do the workouts, and then like when and just doing a push-up, and I'm like, oh my god, like I be thinking this push-up is gonna be so hard, and then when I could push myself up, I'm like, oh, I did it, and then and I did the next one, and I did the next one, and then like I'm like, oh wow, like, so I mean, I'm not saying that I modify, because I modify a lot, but it just makes me feel empowered, like accomplished, and it boosts my self-esteem that if I could do these hard things, like I could just drive out there and like and and get things done, one thing after the other. So the self-confidence that it gives me it's amazing, and just it increases my focus with the whole day. It really does.
And it's out the way at 5 a.m.
What I'm getting
Awesome.
from what Yesenia said too, the main points are what motivates your husband, Abigail. Like what makes him feel empowered. Find out and just work with him on that. You know, work with him and see is it the results that he wants? Is it the health? Is it the stress that it helps him reduce emotionally? Because being in the military, you go through a lot, and you know if you're an instructor and you're working with people, you're going through a lot. I know my instructors are all crazy.
All right. So the last question, because I can stay here with you. I mean, I know it's nice to have a different
We're just
perspective,
gonna roll
right?
right into our workout.
No, we're not
What?
doing that.
I'm gonna have some candy.
No, you're not having that right now.
Yes, I am.
No,
So I have the last question. The last question is, my sister's asking, not sure if Rudy or Jorge touched upon this. Just curious if you feel like working out together also has built a new or different type of intimacy in your relationship. How has it served your relationship, basically? Whoever wants to go, and then we close the call.
Yeah, I think that Jorge and me have been more intimate working out in the
yeah,
more
I
close.
can talk.
Like
we're
that,
getting pretty
Jorge.
close.
I
They
feel like
really
I
have.
like sweat with that orange headband on.
I gotta watch that shit, by the way. That shit.
Oh, come on.
okay, my bad.
No, it's a long night, but to end it up, yeah, it's definitely 100% helped our relationship physically, emotionally, mentally. We joke and we work out during the videos. I grab her butt. We have a fun time when we're working out. You know, we make it fun. You guys, when we're on mute, Wendy's over here farting next to me. We're close to like it's whatever. You know, listen. I didn't want to say that, you know, but I gotta be real with you guys, you know. But
I know it's true.
exactly. But we have fun, and it's our time. Just like in the morning, I don't have to drive her into work every day. I wake myself up every day early just to drive her. I arrange my schedule to pick her up, and you know, because there's a lot going on right now, and that's our time in the car to chat, to talk to each other about whatever we want to talk. You know, maybe read something, or do some PD, go live, and we didn't have that time. I don't know how much time we would have together the rest of the day, you know? That's 1 hour I have with her working out, half hour. Well, yeah, 1 hour, half hour there, another little bit of time in the shower, a little bit of time on the way in to work. Everything is better with working out.
Right.
I agree. I just gotta add, you know, Jorge said that he prefers not to work out with me, and to a certain degree, he did. It's true because of the whole, you know, I have to record and I'm gonna hang on and, you know, wait a minute, you know, I gotta go back 30 seconds, and he's like, come on now, right? So all of that, but I believe that he also lying. You understand what I'm saying? Because he wants to talk and I want to work out. And if you see, like when we have, so typically when it's like a stretch day or yoga day, you will see, you know, the commentary on my IG, you know, stories, do want to talk, you know, do I have a meeting today? Do you know what that's on a family schedule? And I'm just like, what? But like, you know, going to what Rudy was saying, it's true. I believe that, you know, it's that time that you spend together before all the craziness of the day happens, right? And you're able to, you know, to be like, okay, this is what I got going on today. What do you have going on? You get to laugh together. You get to fart together. You get to do all the things.
At least Rudy doesn't put your shit on IG. Gab likes to laugh and put my farts on IG so that everybody can hear.
He posted his, I don't fart, his farts.
Oh, you've posted his too, though.
Post all the like when we're there recording, she'll post our moves. I'm like, yeah, post everything. I don't care. Same as Jorge, I don't care. And I feel like getting up in the morning, working out, and doing these things together, we start our day better.
Yes.
It's crazy. You know what? I could go out and have some drinks on a Friday night or whatever it is, and not wake up early, and not work out, and sleep in and get more rest, and feel like crap the rest of the day. until I do work out later on. Or I could that same thing, go on a Friday night, go and drink, and I could be done. Wake myself up at 6 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, whatever. Drink some hydrate, whatever. Do my workout, even though I wasn't mentally there. I'm groggy from maybe hungover or whatever. I'll work out and snap right out of it. Feel better. Happy that I started my day earlier. And I mean, guys, it's just it's when you're working out with somebody. I feel like I'm ready. I go into work and I'm like, hey, how's it going, people? And people are like, what the fuck is this guy so happy about? Hey, what the fuck is that? I just keep moving, because you're not gonna mess with my happy. I choose to be happy together. We
And
do,
working out does that for
and that's our personal development. We get to release our stress together. So, I'm sorry for the cursing around Matias. I know he's awake, or any other kids that are out there tonight.
Yeah, point Matias.
Yeah, no, same here. I we don't even think about it anymore. It's just we wake up. That's the first thing we do is we work out. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like muscle memory. We don't. It's like it's one of the reasons we do it so early is because it doesn't give us time to think about not doing it. We do it. It's done. It shows up, and then even more so with the group. We're all in this together, right? So we talk mad shit when Rudy don't show up, and everybody's there, and then we force him. He hears us, and then we force. Oh, God, I'm gonna get up. No, I'm just messing. But the reality is that for us, it really has become the way it is, and that saying that couples who work are cliche. For us, it's true. Like it's something that we share, that we're aligned together in what we're doing. We believe the same way, and I think it's important for us. Not speaking for anybody else, but I think it's an important part of our relationship that we do it together, and we do it without even thinking.
Yeah. So that's it, you guys, because otherwise we'll be here and this recording will be long. What you said, the truth is. Really, guys?
Yeah.
So I just want to say one last thing. I think that this fitness thing, this workout thing, right? And it seems so, simple. It's just a workout, has literally transformed our lives, our families' lives. And, not only in the health aspect, right, physical aspect, but I think in all aspects of our relationships, in our, emotional health and our mental health, the way you think, the way you act, the way you show up in life, in your, the way you show up for each other, the way you show up for your kids, the way you show up for, here for you guys. I think it really trickles into all areas of your life without you even realizing, because you want to be better. When you start one thing in your life that you want to change, then that impacts other areas, and you overall become a better human. You become a better spouse, a better, a parent, a better person, a better everything. And so I think that, these guys have nailed it. It's all about the mindset. And also it's about you ladies, you show up first. You show up first no matter what.
Be an example.
Be an example. You lead the way, because if you lead the way and you stay the course, eventually, it doesn't matter if it takes a year or 2 years or 5 years, they will join you. All right. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rudy, Kevin, Rodolfo, and Jorge for sharing and being so vulnerable tonight. Have a great night.
All right, guys.
See you
Have a good
guys
night.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.